So, I know some of you are confused about what to do with the collections project, how to start, how it all fits together, etc., etc. Don't panic. That's the first thing. Everybody will do a different theme. Everybody's sketchbook will be different because of the artists they choose, the images they research, and the things that they explore and develop. What I am doing is I am setting you individual tasks that you can do in whichever media technique or with whatever imagery that fits your project. Okay, so don't stress too much about that. That's the first thing. Also, presentation. It is entirely up to you how you present it. It could be that you do it in a sketchbook. It could be that you do it in a series of sketchbooks. It could be that it's all mounted on sheets, could all be on big pieces of board. It is entirely up to you. And, you know, if you're looking at an artist that's 3D, you're going to have little, like, 3D sketches, maquettes. So you'd have those as well. So don't stress. When we get to class, we can sort out the arrangements. So long as you do the individual bits, we will look at how to put them together if you're unsure about that. I don't want anybody worrying at this moment in time. That's the first thing. I'm going to show you some previous sketchbooks by way of inspiration, just to show you that things are really diverse and really different, and just to hopefully put your mind at ease a little bit. All right then, see you later. Right, okay, so some of you have asked about sketchbooks and presentation and how you get started in a project. There's loads of different ways. This project here was done by a student a few years ago. The starting point of the project was diary. It was a personal thing. She wanted to look at things that mattered to her. Absolutely fine. Thought about the presentation of this page, the text, the colour she was putting down, and then started to look at the artists and the stylisation that she might want to use. So here, she's cut out and made these cloud shapes out of images of artwork and different flower things from magazines and all different things that represent her and represent the artist and the colour references and things like that. She also realised quite early on that she liked something called Assemblage Art, which is here, where things are arranged, different objects are arranged and stuck down, and almost collections of things are put together. She then went away and did some experimenting from that. So not everything's in the sketchbook. She's then gone away and made this little secret diary keep out. She's glued the pages together and then cut back to make like a little box frame with little images, objects inside and images collaged into the side. So that was just like a little experiment that she did, inspired by this idea of the box and Joseph Cornell. She's used these tag things for her annotation, okay? She's talked about artist journals, so she's looking at how other people record things, recording personal things. She's also started looking at, you know, how she's going to draw, how she's going to present things. So here we've got a collaged split image, and then she's just drawn the final piece in colour. So she's experimenting with the medium and techniques in there. Jean Julien is quite an experimental illustrator. We've got some bits where she's copied these illustrations, although to be fair, she'd probably have been better to translate some of her own photographs into the Jean Julien style rather than just copying. Other artists that she likes, she's saying about who they are, what techniques they use, why she likes them. She's put on here, I really like Bernadette Parsons' watercolour work, especially the way her paintings have an almost dreamlike state, emphasised by the bright harmonising colours. So she's making reference to the importance of colour in there. It is fine to come up with an artist that we've never heard of. I haven't heard of a lot of the artists in here when she first came, but that's the point. You present them to let the person that's looking at the book know who it is, what they do, and what you like. So she's picked out little bits of illustrations in there. She's made reference to the website. She's pulled out key facts. She's got images from these journals and sketchbooks that the artist has used. And then again, here, she's looking at the idea of emotion. It's a journal, it's personal. So how are you going to present that? She's started to look at how different artists use colour, use technique, use watercolour, maybe posture, the way that the figure is posing. That could perhaps inspire you to take photographs. She's taken little elements from the artist's work and started to draw them and bring them in. She's reflected some of the shapes and the images from here into the background. So she's taking that inspiration and looking at it. She's looking at what she wants to do here, and she's making that clear in that annotation. Now that's all she's done in this book, but she's got a series of other pieces, including another little sketchbook, which we'll move on to. So again here, this is a mini sketchbook. It's an A5 sketchbook. This is sort of more the type of thing that you might take out on location with you. She started off with that influenced illustration style that she looked at in front of the other book. She's then played around with colour. She's done experimental backgrounds and cut out these letters and put them on there. And this is my diary. Have fun. She's trying to show emotion, show feelings through words and colour, as well as the imagery. She's then started to use and explore her own photography. So she's got her photography here, and then she's drawn into it with a pen. She's scratched into the surface here, because it's printed on proper photographic paper. She's done the same sort of thing here. Here she's drawn with pen on tracing paper so that she can layer it over another surface. So she's got newspaper coming through there, but it could have been sheet music, song lyrics, poetry, whatever. It could have been anything. I like the way she's made these tags. You know, she's looking at sort of like the journey of her life. So she's using these railway tickets as little tags to then annotate on the back and explain what she's doing. She says on here, the next 4 pages are inspired by Janice Lowry. Again, it's an artist that I've not heard of. But if we look here, there's a combination between her own photographs that she's cut out and collaged into different drawings in different locations. And again here, personal memories of family members or friends, and creating this mixed media collage. A lot of these shapes are cut out of papers and stuck down and drawn into. Using your own photographs is really important. You get loads of marks for that, same as you would do for drawing. If you select a photo, you do it from an angle or a viewpoint that inspires you, that interests you. And then therefore you can do drawings and studies from that, which is what she's done here. You know, again, experimenting with drawing from that, but then looking at stylised images of plants. So again, her drawings. And here she's got a photograph she's taken of Shudden Hall, and on the top of the train tickets, she's drawn in biro over the top of there. There are other collage pages. These are just of artists and you know, well, of David Bowie, and then how artists have interpreted them. And then, you know, different things that she's seen at galleries, you know, recording her own photographs, gallery exhibitions, places she's been, things that, you know, that reflect her. Following on from that book, she's then created like a sort of an assemblage book in some ways. So if we look here, she's done that same thing where she sticks the pages together and cuts through like the book. She's done a painting from her own photograph. Here, she's recreated the quote. Might have been quite nice if she'd done her own quote though. If we're thinking about how we can personalise things and push them forward, you get more marks for doing your own version of something rather than just copying it. You can show the influence, but then do your own. Here, she's got a photograph of the building, and she's drawn that over the top of the ticket, so you can see that links through to her other work. There are lots of things she could have done here. She could have paper cut different things into here. We could have had different bits shown on different layers. There's loads and loads of things. This is not a definitive thing at all. It's just showing you how somebody has interpreted things. And then she played around with what she calls her burn book. You know, it's a little bit gruesome. It's a little bit weird. But again, looking at that idea of assemblage, you know, if she got more research about the idea of crime crime scenes and things like that, that would have really supported this, and she could have really explored that. But it was just something she played around with. It was just an idea. So, you know, not all prep has to be in a book. Here, she's looked at different artists, different ways that they've created things. So here, Anne Bagby's layering over different surfaces. That's been put into the background on the presentation. She's then done some little samples inspired by that here, which have just been tied into the book. Tisha Moore, massive sort of influence in terms of journaling and personalisation and stylisation. So she's got images of Tisha Moore's work, and then she's created her own versions here. And it's through creating her own versions that she's getting the extra mark. She's inspired by Tisha, but doing it her own way, making it personal. So again, there's her own photographs here that she's starting to develop in a Tisha Moore style. Playing around with maybe some of the Anne Bagby techniques that she's got here, but then bringing in Tisha Moore as well. Again, she's looking at different artists and the way they do the drawing onto the faces. She's started to develop patterns. She's played around on Photoshop with some of these different developments, tied those in. And then we've got a range of different types of developments that she's done here, looking at how artists have influenced face painting or digital media and techniques, and then she's drawn back into these images here inspired by that. Some of you might have been watching Glow Up. You know, it could be that you're really into face painting. Absolutely, bring it in, photograph it step by step. This is about you and the things that you are interested in, okay? So again, here she's working into images. She's looking at emotions, thoughts, the idea of things being projected on people. You can see here she's got her influence from the artist we looked at a minute ago. And then these are bits where she's experimenting with some of the Anne Bagby ideas, the positive and negative silhouette shapes, you know, the music, the map, where am I from, what do I like, all of those sorts of things. We've got this idea here inspired by pop art. You know, this could be the line drawing. If we think about the line drawing task, you know, that's a line drawing. It's been done on tracing paper that's been layered over collage. She's got key little bits of colour in there, but it's predominantly a line drawing. Again, these are line drawings. Playing around, inspired by the artist Erin Case, you know, cutting into and collaging images in different ways, doing that with her own photographs that she's taken. You know, sort of layering and playing around with these ideas, bringing different bits and pieces in. She's got a bit of Ian MacArthur coming through in some of the patterning there, but she's got some of the loose bits and pieces. Okay, you know, printing out some of your digital work, cutting it up and weaving it together, all different ways that you can experiment and play and push forward ideas.